Good morning, everyone. It's phony. Hey, Jill. I was talking to Roger, by the way. Ken, good morning. 11:10. Don't see any headline. Something like that, Karen. Lunch hour is upon us. Morning, Raya, Jesse, Charlene, Dave. They are doing great. Mary, good morning. Mhm. Did anyone get in from the email today? Thanks, Bruce. Thank you, David. Awesome.
And folks, if you're not getting your emails, welcome and good morning, everybody, and or good afternoon. Welcome. It's Monday morning. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Stefan, Atlan, and Bill. And if I'm mispronouncing somebody's name, it's like the last thing I want to do. I do apologize. All right, that means emails went out if somebody got an email. Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys had a great weekend. So, a few funny things that happened to me this weekend. I'm just going to talk about this while the room is filling up, and then I'll say hello to everybody. But I have a fairly big house. It's a 4,500 square foot house. Not that I really need a house that big, but it's a pretty big house. I don't have. I used to have three kids living at home. Now I only have one kid living at home. So 7 years will change your life quite a bit. But the point is, I have a router, and my router is upstairs, and I use these little what are they called, Matt? What are I the Orbeez? I use these little
Yep.
Orbeez as a way to get hotspots all over my house. And yesterday, all of a sudden, Sunday, all of a sudden, my connections all over the house are like a little weak, right? So I'm thinking something must be going wrong with Orbi. So I try to reset it a million times. This, that. I can't figure it out. Don't know what the hell's wrong. This morning, I go to turn on my backlight, the one I use behind my videos in the morning, right? And the light doesn't go on. So I realized that the cord, the cat, you know who it was. It was Clyde. He was playing with me. He unplugged the power just enough to where it was not. It was still plugged in, but it wasn't on. If that makes any sense. So to me, it looked like it was perfectly plugged in. So that problem got solved. So that was my. So yesterday I was a sneaky rascal. Exactly. And Richard had a baptism yesterday, which was fantastic. I thought it was Saturday, actually, Richard. Thought it was Saturday. Maybe my days completely run into each other. But can you imagine that? That's right, Ken. Can you imagine those cat? I got to stop letting them in my office. So yeah. So everything's fine. Everything was good. There was no internet issues. But Uh, that was that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I want to share something with you guys. Let me say hello to everybody, and then I want to share something with you. Hey, Mary. Hey, Wild Ranger. Steve. Stacy. William. If you're not getting your emails, please call customer service or email them. Not me, them, and tell them that. Okay. Tell them that. Please tell them that. Mark. We got Brendan. Hey, Brendan. How are you? Got your email, but entered through the link. All right. Kirk. Arnulfo. Hello there. W. Moore. Good to see you. Good to see you. From New Home in Lake Las Vegas. I love Lake Las Vegas, by the way. I almost build. Do does Celine Dion still live there, W. Moore? I almost build the house to the left of hers. The gray house. Does she still have that single story gray house there? It's an ugly house, not a good looking house. But let me know. Let me know. I'm curious. Celine Dion, very frisky. Hey, Jill. Hey, Ken. Hey, Jeremiah. Uh, hey, Dom. Little George, Brendan, Richard. Oh, 36 incubated, 28 chickens hatched. Good. That's a pretty good success rate. That's like trading success rate, right? Porkies, Carrie, Ken, Tammy, Bancroft, Pat, Richard, Ken. Uh, we haven't had a trade in the pit yet this morning. No, no. I usually don't really do much early Mondays. Mondays and Fridays are I trade with, sometimes I go aggressive, sometimes I don't. This is not a time for aggressive trading. We got good, good, good. Yeah, yeah, let's see. Ivano, Catherine. Hey, Catherine from Hawaii. Look at you. Hey, Catherine, Phil, Tinya, John, Bob, Chad, Vernon, Moondog, Steve, David, Manuel, John. Hell, I just got here. I don't know anybody but six neighbors. Yeah, so if you go to the ritzy part of Lake Las Vegas, she had a house there about 12 years ago when she was doing her performance there. At, they used to pick Celine up at, she has a lot, an empty lot next to her, and there was a helicopter spot, and they used to pick up her in the helicopter and take her to Caesars. So my wife and I, we were looking for a lot that was next to that lot, and we were with a broker, and all of a sudden we see like it's a gated subdivision. And all we see like a bunch of security cops park up. She was very concerned that we were paparazzis. I wasn't even paying attention. Didn't even know it was her lot. I was literally looking at an empty lot next to her. But that's how I learned she lived there, by her calling security on me. See, there's always a funny story with Uncle Roger. My long short list. No, it's not posted anywhere. The only time we give it out is here. I do that so you guys can attend. Yeah, ask the neighbors. It's a gray house, a light gray single story house. Not a very pretty house, but it's a big house, and she has a big lot. Anyway, I don't even know if she's there anymore. All right, let me share my screen. Matt, can you relinquish your share so that I can? Hey, Jesse, how are you?
Yep.
So, want to go over something with you guys. This morning, this morning, AJ Blazer, let me pull up my TC 2000 here. It'll take a second. Yes, all getting those wicks on SPY. Look, I was about to get Matt to fix it, but yes, yes. Let's see if TC 2000 has them too.
And
Yep.
getting them on TradingView as well, which is rare.
Look, across the board. You're gonna have to manually delete those suckers. So let me actually go back to where I was. So first things first. Jason says 1 out of 1 for AZP. I'm on jury duty this week, but I'm able to still trade on my laptop. You love that AZP, don't you, Jason? It's a good tool. It's a very good tool. Very, 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 very nice tool. And Matt already posted it. Okay. So I want to teach you guys a little lesson, okay? A little lesson. And this morning, Bob from Puente Gorda. Are you here, Bob? What was the ticker that you gave me this morning that I gave everybody an example on? What was that? Hold on, let me find it. It was a ticker symbol that I want to find. It was the first ticker symbol that I showed you guys. One second. Where is it? Where is it? Where's Bob? Ali, thank you. There he is. All right. So I use this as an example. Bob asked me if I like this stock a lot. And I explained to Bob, I said, hey, Bob, listen, we got a problem here. This stock has a major gap here. Gaps do not like to get filled. What? Yes, yes, you heard me right. Gaps do not like to be filled. I want to explain this to you guys. You see, you see that when this gap was made here, I want to explain to you why. And when I explain to you why, you will all, or some of you, at least those who have been here for a while, will have an aha moment because it'll be very consistent what I've said before about something that's completely unrelated. Don't you like that? When I make two connections that are unrelated to each other? They sure as hell filled the damn spy gap, though. Uh, I don't really know what we're talking about. I don't know if we're talking about intraday time frame. You're talking about intraday time frame. I'm talking about real gaps. I'm not talking about intraday. That's not a gap. That's an morning opening. So, so I want to ask you guys a question. I want you to come to your own conclusion. If you come to your own conclusion, you will actually understand it. If I just tell you, you won't believe me. So, you see this gap? Does everybody see this gap right here? This gap right here, this big gap from 149 to 146. Does everybody see a gap there? Right? You all see a gap right here, right? A big gap. I want to make sure I'm going to make this really stupid simple because I want you guys to have an aha moment and then I'm going to give you another example. Ha! You guys want to see something better than this? Look, this is better. Look what Clyde is doing right now. They love boxes. Cats love boxes. Okay, let's move on. All right, that's all we have for Clyde. So, do you guys see this gap here? Everybody sees this gap here, okay? Okay. What usually causes gaps? There's no wrong answer here. Come on, guys. What usually causes gaps? Earnings, news, earnings, and gap, earnings, news, same thing, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're all good. Guidance, earnings, news. Well, Nathan, overnight activity based on what? If it's a real gap, volume. So it's got to be based on news. Would it be safe to say that gaps are caused by news? Would it be safe to say that gaps are called by news? Can we just and move on? Okay. 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 So let me ask you the next question. Boy, I'm leading you down the path where you guys don't even think you're going to go. But sometimes I leave you there and you're like, wait a minute, did I just agree to all of that? That talking. Watch. I'm going to create a little synapses in your mind right now. Okay. All right. So we already said news causes gaps. It doesn't matter where is the news. There's Michael. We're not talking about right now. We're talking about what happened right here. And in this case, you had earnings. There was the news. Are you happy now, Michael Culp? See, there's the news. There's your earnings. It made $2.16 a share. It's a lesson. It has nothing to do with reality, Michael. This is a lesson I'm giving you in history, a history lesson. Michael says, so where's the news? He's talking about now. I'm talking about 6 months ago. So Michael and I are in a different world right now. Okay. All right. So it has nothing to do with reverting to any mean. But if you guys stop commenting and let me talk, I would tell you. So we've all agreed here that news, earnings, upgrades, downgrades, Fed data, news causes real gaps on daily time frames. I think I've encompassed all of your answers now. Capiche? We're all good? Can we move on now? Okay. So what usually happens when there's news? On a particular stock, obviously. What usually happens? What is it accompanied with? Well, yeah, the gap is the result. Nicholas, yes. Okay, fair enough. Volatility, right. Okay, but Nicholas got it right. Volume. Have you ever seen a big gap without volume? Of course you haven't. Look. There's the gap. Look at the volume here. Average volume is 724,000. On this day, volume was 1.9 million. Volume. Volume moves things. Okay. Now, now. So is it fair to say we're only in part two now? We're only in part two. We're only in part two of this. So gaps are caused by news. News is accompanied by volume. Can we all agree on that? Forget about all this other stuff, reversion to the mean, price. Just stick to the script. So far, so good. People love to give me their idea, their theories of reality, but let's just stick to mine, okay? News causes something to happen. That news is caused by volume. Without volume, you're not going to have a gap. We're all on individual. I'm talking about individual stocks. Are we all on the same page? I want to make sure we're all on the same page. Yes, yes, yes. Do I have yes? YouTube, yes. All this other stuff you're talking about, please throw it out throw it out of the car. Just get rid of it. Just okay. Harold says yes. We got 423 people here. We got like 20 yes. If I'm not making sense, I don't want to go forward. I want to make sure you guys understand this. Gaps are caused by news, and news usually has a lot of volume. Capiche? Is there anything I'm saying? I'm not speaking French. This is like basic technicals. Gaps are caused by big event, something unforeseeable. Usually something unforeseeable has a right, gaps volume, right? Okay. Okay, now let's completely shift the topic. What are these white colored lines here? What are these white colored bars here? I'll come back to the gap. Don't worry. I'm not moving too far. High volume. Oh, high volume bars. High volume bars. Yes, high volume bars. And why do I keep track of high volume bars? Because they act like really good support and what levels? Yes. Yes. Okay, let's see. Now let's see if we can reconcile all of this. So guys, you see how these are white? See, they're white. Well, Don, it's implied that it's institutional trading action. Let's just say heavy trading action. That way we don't. No, I didn't say anything about momentum, Dorel. See, momentum, support and resistance. None of this has any room in here. Indicators have nothing to do here. Nothing to do with price. I'm trying to keep it real simple for you, but everybody's trying to complicate it. So let's try it again. Let's try this again. Gaps are caused by news. News have a lot of volume. Let's just put this on the left shelf above us for 30 seconds. What are these white colored lines here, and why are they important? A lot of times you guys ask me what they are. We could have done this in 3 minutes if you guys just, interact with me. No, they're not. There's nothing wiki here. What are these white colored lines and why are they important? Does anybody know? I've said it to you guys at least dozens of times. Richard, high volume, high volume, high volume, high volume, high volume. Why do I find it important to isolate high volume bars from the rest? Come on, guys, wake up. Now we're talking. Now we're talking highs and lows. Yes, Joel agrees. I'm glad to hear that. Support and resistance. They make support and resistance. High volume. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can create a white candles or high volume. Okay, now why are they important, Moondog? Nothing to do with an uptrend, Ronaldo. Nothing to do with an uptrend. Or a downtrend, or momentum, or reversion. Can we stick to the script? Why? I asked you a question. Just give me an answer. Why is white more important than green and red? Because institutions are involved. Because it creates strong areas of support and resistance. No, Tim, it's not where price will return to. Matt, we really have to get back to the basics here with people. Like people are really like, I overestimate how much you guys know. I really overestimate how much you guys know. Nothing to do with inflection points, nothing to do with, whew, wow. I really have a lot of learning, teaching to do here. Hey, how about this? Volume. These are high volume bars. High volume bars create non-random points of support and resistance. That's the answer. So let's see if I could tie it all together for you. I'm really trying hard for you guys to have an aha moment, but you guys are really fighting over yourself and making it really hard for you all to do it. And what when big money's involved versus randomness, like low volume, does it have a stronger area of support and resistance? Don't you think this support and resistance is much stronger than this support and resistance? Okay. So let's tie this game together. Roger, I read in every technical analysis book that gaps are supposed to be filled. Gaps are areas that are easily filled. That's what every book on technical analysis says. Now watch this. And most of you have agreed to everything I've said. Gaps are caused by news. News are caused by high volume. What? High volume? Whoa, 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 whoa. High volume. Didn't you say high volume creates these white lines? Hey, wait a minute. Hmm. You guys notice the color of these lines here right around this gap? Huh. Is that? It must be a coincidence. Well, I already told you that gaps usually are made by high volume, and high volume makes these white colored lines. And these white colored lines act better than support and resistance than anything else you could ever imagine, which is why I took the time to make anything above average volume white on my screen. So, if these white lines create the best support and resistance, high volume bars create the best support and resistance levels, and usually they occur when gaps happen, what do gaps create for us? Huge support and resistance areas. They create walls for us. So are gaps easy to fill or are gaps hard to fill? Ah, Michael had that. No, they're hard to fill. They're very, very hard to fill. Gaps are easy to fill. Gaps are there to be filled. Really? Gaps are caused by high volume. High volume creates these white colored lines. I specifically label these lines because they act as amazing support and resistance areas. So if everything that I just said is true, then how can gaps be easy to fill? Do you guys understand where I'm going with this? I just gave you a lot of value. Gaps create very strong areas of support and resistance. They're not easy to get filled. They're the hardest to get filled. That's irrelevant, Kaylee. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you first, so you know how to use it first. So, a little while ago, a little while ago, gaps get filled. If I had $1 for every time I read that nonsense, I want to shoot whoever wrote it. So, a little while ago, I send you this little thing here. And I asked you a question. Here was the question. Why is Reddit not a great short yet? After the lesson I just gave you, can you tell me the two reasons why it's not a good short yet? What is this right here? And what is this right here? You didn't look to the left, and you have a gap. So you have support here, and you have support here. Not resistance, support, Elizabeth, support. Doesn't mean it doesn't matter if it's high volume because you've got this. This has nothing to do with the gap. You've got something to the left, and you have a gap. So, so, my point is, my point is very, very simple here. When you see a gap, When next time some idiot tells you, "Ooh, that's a system that trades gaps and gaps are meant to be filled," what are you going to tell that person? What are you going to tell that person? No, gaps are areas of very high support and resistance. They're actually not going to get filled. So, Roger, how do you trade gaps? What you got this gap and green program for? What's going on? What's happening? Phil Share says wrong. So, gaps are great once they start accepting the price. Not don't ever trade gaps anticipatorily. Multiple attempts to break and it hasn't broken. Look, once, twice, three times, four times, five times. Now, when this baby starts trading here and the low closes above here for the second day in a row, then price would have had accepted this area and it's time to move ahead. Eternity, Wes. Eternity. Jeffrey, I just answered your question. You want to see strong price action accepting price into the gap. I literally just answered your question before you asked me. Strong momentum and volume. So, you know those books that you guys read that says gaps get filled easily? No, they don't. No, they create very strong support and resistance areas because usually they're accompanied by high volume and usually there's a lot of stuff there. Capiche? Can we move on? I wasn't even planning on teaching you this lesson, but I figured it was so much worth it because we had a perfect example with. So when you see a stock like Reddit, you've got two things going on here. You don't have high volume, but you still have a gap, but you got a double whammy. You got this too. You got something to the left. Now, once this starts breaking down, and the gap here is not that big, but it triggered what I taught you this morning. Hey, Michael. I want you guys to understand it. Okay? All right. Yes, I talk about it in this morning as well. Yes. That's right, Ken. Exactly. Exactly. Okay. Let's talk about the market. What's the market doing today? And by the way, whenever I ask you a question, a day trading question, in the pit to email me, I'm never looking at the 5 minute charts. I'm always looking at the daily charts. What do I always tell you? 95% of my analysis is done on the daily chart. The only thing I use the intraday chart for is to decide when to press the trigger and when to get out of the trade. All my analysis is done on daily charts. Okay. The SPY is not above yesterday's low, high, excuse me, but we did break yesterday's low, and that's what I'm really focused on right now. Also, if you look at volatility, oops, volatility is still spiking, still up 5%. Also, if you look at the bond market, we broke a very, very important level. And the question now is, are we going to see high volume bar? Look at the high volumes on liberation. This is liberation right here. This is the days we got liberated from our money. Right here. Right, Matt?
Liberation Day was liquidation day.
Liquidation day, yeah. Liberation day. We all got liberated. Anyways, so we're not out of this yet. To me, this is just bouncing. Also, I told you this morning, I just for the record, John C says, why is the SPY pushing higher when the news is bad? Well, I'm going to explain to you why. Because first of all, what did I tell you? What did I tell you this morning? I told you this morning that global economy is not devastated, but based on this. It's supporting price. It's not detracting price. I mentioned that to you this morning. And I also mentioned to you that it may take several days to get back to the 200-day moving average. It may not happen today. So we're shifting things, but we're it doesn't all have to happen overnight. You see what I'm saying? The shift, the sentiment has changed. The sentiment has changed. Doesn't have to happen in one day. Doesn't have to happen in one day. And ultimately, I'll tell you where I think we're going to go. I know this is going to be a big surprise for all of you, but I think we're going to go right here. Right here. What's great is we're still holding the 8-day EMA, but we're not really moving higher. Also, if you look at mega caps, they're starting to get closer to that 100. We're getting a little closer. So we don't have a really good trend right now. Notice this morning, and actually something I pointed out to you, I think it was the first thing that I said to you. Hold on. When the market opened, I actually said it right here. Right here. Look at the first thing I wrote to you guys at 9:46. Morning not down nearly as bad. The global markets were this is what I was looking for. The global markets were soft, but not that soft. Remember this morning I was like Europe is only down 0.48, China's down a little bit. There's really no major follow through. So that's what that's what I was looking at this morning, the first thing. And I said, watch chips and mags and energies. They're leading lower. If they bounce, we should be okay. Blue chips are not that much, are not down that much. Could be a bit overreaction in short term. Did you guys read that this morning at 9? Because people are asking me a question that I kind of gave an answer to right here. I kind of said this at 9:46, and I showed you this. Do you guys remember? Do you guys read this? Global markets were not that soft. Watch chips and mags. Blue chips are okay. Okay. Did that kind of answer your question? Because I kind of said it right here. I thought it'd be a little more helpful at 9:46 than at 12:30. Yeah, there was no blood in the water this morning. There just wasn't. What were those 4 or 5? I don't. Oh, they were not bars. Those were mistakes. Those were errors. I covered that too. So, I mean, I kind of said to you guys, there's not nearly as bad. The global markets were soft, but not that soft. And it could be an overreaction. If they bounce, we should be okay. Let's see if they did that. Now, remember, it's very important what I say at 9:30. What I say now is Monday back quarterbacking. So let's see. What have they been doing all day? What did SMH do? They bounced. Let's see. What did megacaps do? They bounced. So, I'm sorry, John. What is your question exactly? Where do you think? Can you please expand on your question? Because you acted surprised, but I kind of told you that I'm not really expecting a bloodbath. You know, where do you think the spy will finish? Can you post your questions so everybody could see them? It's not fun when it's just you and I. Here, this is what John is asking. I have no idea where SPY will finish. I don't really do well in predicting the future. But I could tell you right now, based on what the SPY is doing right now, it's doing very little. We're looking for price discovery. There's nothing going on right now. So, what did I tell you this morning within 10 minutes of the market's opening? Things are not really looking that bad. Not that bad. And the big giveaways were the fact that we bounced in the first 10 minutes pretty hard, but more importantly, global economy. Global economy was not in the, you would think with the US being downgraded, global economy would be in the crapper. So, Carlos says, I believe this is a false breakdown recovery, not a full bullish move. You mean it's a false move? You mean it's a fake out? You mean it's a fake out? So I do too. I believe the fact that we've been making lower lows on the mags is very significant, and I believe we're going to go down here, which is exactly what I've been saying for the last week, which on the SPY would be right here. Oh, I even drew a little rectangle here. As soon as we start entering this rectangle, and we haven't yet, but as soon as we start entering, it's not good. QQQ, see, we're already there. We're already there on the QQQ. But I did say this to you. Besant has a point for now. What is his point? I don't understand what his point is. The bond market just made a new, I mean, the bond market broke down hard. Crystal ball, it's not working. It's not working. Not working. Made in China. It's not working. Yeah. Okay. All right. I was going to have a session on ADX and ATR, but instead we had a session on high volume candles, which is just as important. So I'm going to go ahead and do the stocks today. Now, remember, tomorrow, Visa makes money when interest rates go higher, Kirk. Visa makes money when interest rates go higher. Is the market as a whole this difficult in past years? Bob, the market hasn't been this difficult in 10 years. And I'm explaining to you why. I don't mind if the market goes up. I don't mind if the market goes down. We have no follow through. When you're trading the pit and you need to have follow through to hold stocks into like 3-4 days, or you just markets are doing this. And that's this part, what I've been telling you guys about this. Here, I'll show you this part. So the problem right now is it's not the market, it's what's driving the market. It's driven by news, it's not driven by price. News doesn't have follow through. Price has follow through. So remember, I've been complaining about the number of stocks making 90-day highs, 90-day lows, and I've been explaining until this number gets above 100, you're not going to have any follow through because there's no stocks moving and you can't have follow through if the stocks are not moving. Basically, if you have less than 100 stocks on my watch list to the long side and to the short side, look, 65 and 5, 50 and 3, 95 and 3, 96 and 5. If you don't have this number more than 100, you don't have follow through in the market. Roger, you're just not good at picking the right stocks. How can I pick stocks if the market is not moving? There are no moving stocks. So if there are no moving stocks, how do you find the moving? My job is to find stocks that are moving. If nothing is moving, how can I find moving stocks? It's like trying to find a fast lane in rush hour on the 405 freeway. Where do you go? Above everybody's head? Do you see the problem? That's the problem. We don't have any maneuverability. If we do for a day or two, we clean up. Why do you think I've been doing straddles, strangles, and time spreads? They're non-directional strategies. We got to play the cards that the market gives us. In the last 2 months, 2.5 months, day trading and non-directional strategies have been working out really well. Now, I want you guys to know, if this is your first rodeo, in other words, this is the first time hearing this, then you guys have selective hearing because I've been saying this since December. And I've been showing you this to you almost every single day. And I dare anybody here to say that's not the case. So when you send me emails and say, Roger, well, you were doing so well when your swing trades, but they're hardly moving now. And actually, they started moving. As soon as the VIX went below 20, we've been doing fine on them again. The problem is because you don't have follow through. I'm not a magician. I can't get rid of traffic on the 405 freeway. Let's say I'm a race car driver and you tell me to go to 405 freeway at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can make some magic happen. But how can I make a car go 60 miles per hour when every lane is clogged? So Bob, it's not you, it's not the market. It's not you, it's the market. And when I say it's the market, this is the most difficult market I've had in over a decade. And the reason I say decade is simply because I can't remember beyond that. Not because it could be 30 years. I just can't remember. Well, Matt, show folks are, let me show you guys. Elizabeth say, I know you're kidding, Elizabeth, but I want you guys to see something. I want you guys to see something here. I want you guys to see cause and effect. Wait. I want you to see that. All jokes aside, let's look at VIXX. Why can I not get this straight here? VIX dash. Let's see. When did VIX go below 20? Somewhere right here, right? Right here. Right here. So let's just say the 12th of May, right? VIX went below 20. It was crazy right here, and it finally went below 20, 12th of May. Matt, do me a favor. I know we didn't script this. This isn't scripted. Show everybody our performance on our on the program you keep with all the gains and losers. Can you show everybody?
The overall sheet.
Yeah. Just for the last like 2 weeks. I just want to see how I personally want to see it. And I want to see if I'm right or wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're doing horrible. Let's see. Let's take a look. Uh, am I still sharing? Oh, there he is. Let's just show everybody. This is the last. So look at the trades that we've been holding for 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, 4 days. Most of them are winners. Look at the trades we've been holding for 31 days, 18, 16 days, 20 days. Show them the dates so they could see the dates. No, days in, so they could see it. They could just see. Yeah. It's easier that way. See that? Look where the losers are. Look at the trades have been last couple of days. 8 days, 1 day, 7 days, 1 day, 4 days, 3 days, 3 days, 18 days, 3 days. Look at 20 days, 16 days. Look at those trades that got the 100 loss, the 69 loss. Look at when those trades were taken before when VIX was still above 20. You see what happens when VIX goes below 20? We become magicians. Still pretty damn good. Look at that. 76% win rate, 1.3 profit factor. Even with all of this crap that we're in right now, we're still doing good. This is for all our programs. This is for Quick Strike, True Trend, Gap to Green, A-Line, True Trend, Quick Strike, all of that stuff. All right. I like the way that looks, actually. All right, let me now take you through trade. So yes, when I'm close to I'm pretty close, Elizabeth, to a magician when VIX is below 20. Can this map be available to see later? What map are you talking about, Santiago? I don't have any maps around here. I can make a map for you if you want. I'm having too good of a time here with you guys. All right. Let me share my screen. Let's get my TC2000 back. See? When VIX started dropping, the gains started coming. Can this map? What map are you talking to, Santiago? I can make a map for you. You can make a map for me, Mike? I need a map. You know, Matt, I've lived in Jacksonville for 7 years, right?
Yep.
It's going to be 7 years. And I'm going to tell you, I am so bad. I am so bad at getting around. I need like a map to get around. You know that?
It's a huge city.
Yeah. Omar, the Pit is my flagship program. The Pit is my flagship program. We've had 3 losers this year. And like 100 bonus trades that have made money. That and the room that Matt the room
Alpha Zone.
Alpha Zone and True Trend, not Alpha Zone.
In the Pit.
Trading Zone, and the Pit, because we're spending all our time in there all day long. Okay, I'll talk about sectors. I'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. So there's no momentum right now at all. Let's see what's driving price. Semiconductors, utilities. Look at it this morning. Do you see utilities anywhere in there? It's not utilities. It's nuclear. Excuse me, nuclear. No, nuclear was down here, but look where nuclear is now. I have a prediction that this is going to come off a little bit. And consumer discretionary is here. Communication is here. But this morning, consumer discretionary was here. And now it's down here. I have a feeling this is going to get very broad based, and you're going to see a lot more blue chips here. So yes, it's happening, Lisa. I think what's happening, folks, is honestly, I don't think the market's bouncing back nearly as much. I think we have to look at the bond market, and the bond market's not really bouncing all that much. And volatility, though, is also not bouncing all that much. Be careful still here. We're not out of the danger zone yet. As a matter of fact, we may be just coming down to it. Okay, just be careful here. Nathan says this is not my opinion, but some sources saying Trump current call with Putin and later with Zelensky is what's causing today's spike. Continue to go down, which it should have continued to go. What are your thoughts on that? I have no thoughts on that, Nathan. I have zero thoughts on that. I haven't heard anything about that. Maybe. I'm not loving this market. I'm not liking this market at all. I don't like what I'm seeing. Remember, guys, the bond market is not like up here. The bond market is we broke a low. Don't like this. Don't like this at all. Don't like this at all. And just to your point, Nathan, um, without getting too into this, we've had a lot of false starts with Ukraine and Russia. We've had a lot of false starts. And I don't think Ukraine and Russia are going to do too much to bolster U.S. economy. Okay, at this point. I think we have to kind of fix ourselves right now. What I mean is that this I think whether we have this war or not, Moody's would have, if let's say we had the war, let's say we didn't have the war, but everything else would be the same. I don't think it would have impacted this downgrade. I think the tariffs is what's really causing us to be in the crapper right now. Okay. All right. And again, I'm not trying to be political. I'm trying to keep it financial. I really don't focus on anything not financially related. Okay. I don't like the bond market at all. I don't like the USD at all. But I do like how the market is reacting right now in the short term. In the long run, the fact that SMH broke the last 3 days low, if you guys think that's a good thing, it's not. Okay, it's not. Just because it's bouncing doesn't mean anything. I mean, it's still below the levels, and we haven't closed yet, and we still have 3 hours in the day. So we're not moving in the right direction. Also, folks, remember something. Mondays tend to be rotational days. Mondays are not big trend days. Why do I usually not trade till Monday afternoons? You guys know that. Jim says when Ukraine war stops, reconstruction will be great oh, it'll be beautiful, 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 Jim. Oh, I agree with you. My point is, I think I think the market is not going down as much because of that. I think it's going down because of tariffs. I think we've proven and seen that many, 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 many times. But I couldn't agree with you more. When this war is over, I'm going to be very happy and I'm going to become an international investor. But we're not there yet. But I do agree with you 100%. It's going to be amazing for multinational construction. And how about basic materials, Jim? What about basic materials, right? Because you're going to need something to make that stuff with, right? So yes, yes, yes. Paul, I didn't see your post. He's talking about more like labor. I'm talking about material and labor. U.S. and Ukraine have signed an agreement for mining rare earth, which is for protection by the U.S. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm with you, but here's the thing. That's not what's driving the US stock market right now. Maybe 10%. What's driving the US stock market, and we unfortunately, anybody who disagreed with me on this now agrees with me. The tariffs. We all know the tariffs is what's we all know that if Trump said there's no more tariffs, I'm done with this craziness, that this cockamamie idea of mine, I don't know what I was thinking, the stock market would make all-time highs, probably in 3 days. Why did Moody downgrade us? Because our debt, we're getting less secure. This whole tariffs thing is spilling over and increasing our vulnerabilities. Remember what I said? We were coming out of a bad spot. And then Trump came in and started this heavy bull in the China shop. And I said, let the market recover, then do this. He didn't listen to me. I get no respect. All right, guys, let me show you stocks that I'm liking right now. And then tomorrow we'll talk about ADX and ATR. But I haven't seen you all for a weekend, and I missed all of you. So I'm catching up here. So team, see this gap? It's in the gap. If this closes in the gap, it still has the 50-day, but if it closes below the 50-day, it could be coming down right to this area right here. Okay? I'm not going to give you options today. The puts are way overvalued right now, okay? Puts are way overvalued. I would be looking more for stocks to the upside than downside right now. Naples fan, I'll tell you a story about the Dalai Lama one of these days. It's not going to be a great story. But I just want you to know that it's a great story, by the way. It's a great story. It's a one-of-a-kind story. I'll tell you a story about Dalai Lama. But Dalai Lama was paid by somebody who's doing 120 years in prison right now for coming and doing a play at the doing a presentation at the Egg Theater. Here, if you guys want to, you could look it up right here. I was there. It was funny. Hold on. Here, in case you guys want to have the goodies. Hold on. I'll post it for you guys if you want to read it. Yes, I have. And I got some stories with Dalai Lama. Here, enjoy yourself. Enjoy the stories. See, the thing about everything I say, I could actually back it up with something. Enjoy an article. There's movies made about this stuff. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Let's not get off track here. Dava. Dava is not looking very good. This is an infrastructure stock. It's looking pretty bearish. Yes, yes. I've had a pretty funny life. Dalai Lama had to defrock one of his followers. We call him Delhi Lama. We don't call him Dalai Lama. We call him Delhi Lama. But yeah, he had to defrock one of his disciples for getting into a hot tub with Sarah Bronfman and doing the wild thing. It's in the article. It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny stuff. Pretty funny stuff. Those frisky billionaires, yeah, I'll tell you. They live in their own little rules. One Oak. I wasn't in the no, I wasn't in the bat. No, I wasn't there with the in the bat. I'm saying it during that time I was around. I wasn't there, Bob. Oh, One Oak. Yes, enlightenment, William. Yes, enlightenment, definitely. That's funny, Bob. Oh, Starbucks. This is going to be a very interesting week for retail. Remember what the biggest retailer already said. We're not going to eat all the tariffs. So it's going to now come down to other retailers. Let me see how Target's looking. Not yet, but Starbucks definitely Starbucks. Let it clear this level right here. The high volume bar, the gap. See gap, high volume bar. See, think about it. If I use these levels as very strong support and resistance levels, then how can a gap fill be an easy thing for it to happen? Bob, I've done a lot of things, you know. I've been around the block a few times. I like this TRGP. It's accepting the gap fill. See that? Not that it's a big gap fill, but it's accepting it. There's not a lot here. It's in the gap already. It's below all the. I like this. I'm gonna make a little note here. I like this TRGP. Subtleties. Imagine driving on the 101 freeway, okay, in the middle of the day, and you have three ladies in the car, and you're like, "Hey, Universal Studios is right over there. You know, next time you guys come to town, we should go there." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, we own it, right?" Matt, isn't that funny? You're like, what just happened?" Right? Yeah, we own it. Yeah, we can go there anytime you want. We own it. That was fun. That was a fun moment I'll never forget. I did what with them, Kevin? I was just driving on the 101 freeway with them in the car. I was giving them a tour of our sites. And I was like, Universal's right there. We should go visit sometimes. They're looking at me like I'm insane. They're like, yeah, like, whenever you want, since we own it. Uh, Okay, RTX memories, memories of. I should write a book one of these days. Maybe I will. No, I asked if they wanted to go to Universal, and they looked at me like I was an idiot. Right. I was like, yeah, a little overextended, but I like GE. IBM. Look what we got here. We got high volume bars, and look what IBM is doing right now. It's accepting the price above these high volume candles. Look, that makes this price, as long as it maintains this price, very attractive. A, you don't have anything above us. B, you've got support here at these levels. Look at that. High volume bars. Might as well have a gap here. What you got to wait for price to be accepting this. So guys, how does it look? So what does it look like to you when a gap is getting filled? Like this. See how prices pretend this is a gap line right here. Pretend I drew this and there's a gap here. There is no, there's all-time highs there. But pretend this is how it's supposed to look. You see how price is accepting there? See, it got the gap right. Pretend this is a gap. Just pretend there's price here. There isn't, but pretend there is. That's how you want it. You want it more than one day. For 2 days now, you want accepting it. This stock looks very attractive to me right now as a result of that because you're on support. You have a support here. You see? See, now you asked how I use these white lines. This is exactly how I use them. All right, let's continue. A little overextended, a little overextended. Need to wait for it to pull back, at least to the VWAP. But if you're day trading, if you're swinging it, more to here. But nice looking stock. Microsoft. There's the high volume candle right here. There's our support. See how it's breaking support, resistance, excuse me, how it's accepting it slowly, how it closed here above this line, how it's now here above this line. That's acceptance. That's acceptance, okay? Just like I showed you a second ago. Zim. I like the stock if, hold on a second. You got till about 2181 here. I'll get to that. That's the last one, Michael. That's the last one on my list. It's right here, HWM. Just give me a few more minutes and I'll do it. But the fact that you're picking the same stock that I'm picking is very nice. What are those white Matt, can you guys explain it to Matt and I can go on? I spent about half an hour on it, Matt. Here's a replay link, buddy. I don't want to be rude. I just spent like literally half an hour talking about it. I don't want to take everybody backwards. Here's a link and you can rewind it and you can watch it, but I spent a lot of time talking about it, okay? And it's very important. If it wasn't, I wouldn't have it on these charts. Okay? Yeah, please watch the first 30 minutes. There's a lot of value there. I'm going to tell you, Matt, there's a lot of value there, okay? So you got a good resistance area here. The problem is we're not above this area. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with these type of trades is if you're right, you're gonna do really well, but your risk is higher because you're not building a base above the red, white, and blue. So I do like the stock, and part of the reason why I like the stock is because I like it because of the fundamentals. You know, I've been talking about shipping stocks, shipping services. Well, this is a shipping stock, and their fundamentals are very walky right now because of uncertainty. Not the company, but in the world that we're in right now. This stock too, right here, car. This is also a carrier. Okay, they carry global trade. Yeah, we got a nice resistance level here. This stock looks really good. I like this stock and I like Zim. But I would be very careful with Zim, and I would only buy Zim if it starts going back up and trying to break this high. What I'm trying to tell you is you're not too late for this stock, but you may be too early. Understand? That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, and last, no, one more before the last. Visa. I like Visa right now. By the way, folks, Visa makes money globally, and Visa is breaking out of this area right here. By the way, Visa makes money when rates go higher. So Visa's not in the deep doo-doo. Deep Visa doesn't go up if there's a recession, but if there's not a recession, just a weaker economy, Visa's fine. People will be using Visa more. So there's a fine line. When we threaten recession, then that's when Visa goes down. When we threaten just the hard times, Visa loves it. And remember we talked about somebody passing a law that they should tailor the limit the interest rates. Folks, I think that's something that our president definitely should do. I think that it should be legal to have these 28, 30% interest rates on credit cards. I think that Americans are I think that's like to me that would be something I think that's just inhuman, okay? Inhumane. To say it's unconscionable would be a gross understatement. So I like HWM. I've been liking it. I told you that I want to see it break out of this box. It broke out of this box. I don't remember when I drew it, but it must have been a few days ago. We had a nice little high volume bar here, which I missed. And here we are. We're still close to the 8-day EMA and usury. Yes, usury. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's unconscionable. I think it's blatant. Um, Gouging. Yeah, same thing. We're all saying the same thing. Yeah, but I think it's ridiculous. Yeah, I have time. I have time to go to Palantir. No, I still like Palantir. It's still at the 8-day EMA. It hasn't broke it. I would not like Palantir if it starts breaking below the 15 and closing below the 15. For now, it's still okay. Would I be buying it right now? No, I would wait for it to get a little stronger. I would wait for Palantir to trade above 130. No, Sean, I didn't know that about title companies. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys. Matt, do you have a link for the class I'm doing with Jeffrey tomorrow here? Amazon? I'll go through Amazon. Amazon is pinched. We're in between two levels. And you could see you got a lot of resistance here because you have a high volume candle. Draw a line right there. We need to get above this. You really need to start focusing on these high volume candles because they tell us where support and resistance is, and support and resistance is something we use to gauge our entries. We want to be close to support and we want to be close to resistance when we liquidate. Okay. UNH, I would not go long this. I mean, we haven't even begun to fill this gap. We're not above the 8-day. We're close to the 15-day. I don't see anything positive about this stock. Leslie, that's what a bottom picking amateur would do. Richard, let me ask you, Richard, if you're still here, would you go short? Richard, would you, if somebody gave you $1,000 or 100,000, would you go long this stock right now? Look, rules. Are we above or below the American flag? We're below the American flag. Do we buy stocks that are below the American flag? One check mark. We have a major gap. I just got done telling you that gaps are areas of major support and resistance. We have a major resistance area here. We're also not above the 15-day, 8-day EMA. So we're not above the flag. We have a very strong downtrend. We haven't even pulled up enough to make it into to begin the uptrend. The uptrend doesn't start here, and the real uptrend doesn't start here. So I just gave you, just by looking at it casually, I haven't found, and you have gaps that continue here and here. So you have another major gap, even another resistance right there. Carlos, exactly what Carlos just says. He's looking for a bounce off the 8-day to go short again. This is an A line in the making. Look, let me show you. Look at Starbucks. You're seeing Starbucks doing this. You want to wait till it's down here. This is TRGP. You're looking at it here, and it's about to come back down here. So the answer is no soup. Schwab looks good. Yeah, this was on my list all week. This and GE are both on my list. The reason I'm not giving them to you is because they're a little overextended. I want to be closer to the 8-day EMA. Do you guys realize that like the stuff that I teach you, I actually follow every step of the way? Like I don't deviate from this stuff. Okay. All right, guys. Ciao. I'll see you later. I'm going to go update everybody in the pit. I'm in no mood for this harmony today. Let's be nice to each other and let's all be friends. And remember, we're not out of this zone just yet. We're not out of this just yet. We are still in this, and the bond market is not looking all that pretty. This is not happiness right here. What I really need to see is us closing and filling in this gap tonight. Bye, guys. Have a great day. If I missed anything, please send me an email. Bye. Have a good day.
Hi, everyone.